Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today. Coming up later on, our infamous roundtable gets together and they'll get into all sorts of controversy, so stay tuned for that. But between now and then, some great guests and information coming your way. We'll tell you about a new and unique wellness clinic that's available to folks in the Triad area, and we'll also talk to some of the good folks at Goodwill about how we can all help them help others. And Dave Briggs will be here from High Point Theater to tell you what's coming up there. All that plus much more, but first we start talking about scholarships. Scholarships that are awarded by the great firm of Crumley Roberts, attorneys at law. We have two lovely ladies with us today. They're going to tell us all about those scholarships and much more. On my right, we welcome back Kimberly Roberts, Vice President of Marketing and Brand Management for Crumley Roberts. And next to her, our good buddy Ruth Hyde, Executive Director of the Roberts Center. For those of you that missed one of our other episodes, we'll remind you what that is in a second, but I want to start with Kim first, and welcome, ladies. Good to see you.
It's great to be here.
Kim, we know that Crumley Roberts stands up for folks who need legal help, and that's, we see the commercials and all that stuff. But why is education so important to you and the firm? Because we're talking about scholarships today. Why is education so important?
Well, at Crumley Roberts, we believe that as long as you live, you should be learning, because we know education is the key to a happy, healthy, longer, and more successful life. And so to that end, we have established the Roberts Center, which is led by Ruth Hyde as the Executive Director and by Corey Phillips as the Assistant Director. And the Roberts Center gives us an opportunity to expand those educational programs in a new and exciting way.
And how does that work exactly, Ruth?
Well, through the Roberts Center, we're able to grant scholarships to North Carolina seniors and scholarships to folks who are transferring from a community college to a four-year program. We also have our leadership programs in the greater Guilford County area and greater Mecklenburg County, where we're actually granting leadership seats to our classes. Where Hank Heidenreich facilitates those classes.
Yeah, Hank's a good guy. Kim, some scholarships that you guys offer are through the Little Red Jumpsuit Foundation, I believe, too. And now, how does the foundation, what's that mission for the foundation, and what kind of scholarships are we talking about?
Well, the mission of Little Red Jumpsuit is to celebrate and encourage women businesses and community. And so we are really excited to be able to offer scholarships through the Roberts Center for Little Red Jumpsuit Tour. And most of that is funded by Crumley Roberts and also by the Red Effect Boutique, which I've talked about before.
Yeah, I want to give a big plug to that. The Red Effect Boutique, and people say, well, why are you plugging a boutique? And we talked about this before on the show. But you can answer this, because in a roundabout way, it's really helping the mission that you've been talking about with helping people in terms of education, scholarship, learning about healthcare, being healthy. So the boutique is located in, I think, Heron Village in High Point.
Yes.
And we'll put up a screen on that in just a second, but why is that important?
Well, I started the Little Red Jumpsuit Tour several years ago with a great group of women, including Ruth. And it has been one of the great joys of my life to be able to work with such wonderful women. The scholarships, they're very exciting to me because it gives women and girls a next step moving forward. And so at the Red Effect Boutique, 20% of our profits go to fund the scholarships.
Wow.
And of course, Crumley Roberts and the Roberts Center have been a huge part of funding those scholarships also.
And Ruth, there's, we can't get over all of it, but some of the scholarships are for high school seniors, some are for folks that might be in a community college that want to go to university. There's a varied number of
Yes,
things.
so you're going to have those great women across the community, and you're also going to have women who are serving and doing other things in the community that want to take that next step and want to potentially open up their own business, start their own nonprofit or organization, or just takes their lives and the women around them to the next level.
Absolutely. Up on screen, I want to show you a couple things. One is the redeffect.com, 887-0587. That's in the Heron Village. Please patronize that because of the money that goes to scholarships. And also crumleyroberts.com, and you can learn a lot about the services there. And this is all about empowering women, and we were fortunate to have two empowered women to help do this.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
We'll be right back. Back now on Triad Today. Always glad we can get some great folks over from Goodwill to talk about their mission and what's going on. It's especially neat to have both these ladies today because one of them hasn't been here in 15 years. That sounds kind of weird. I hope it won't be another 15 years before she comes. I'm referring to my friend Pam Anglin, who's sitting next to me. She's now Vice President of Marketing for Goodwill Industries in Northwest North Carolina. Our good buddy Galen Shivers is Director of Workforce Development for Goodwill. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you, Jim.
Pam, of course, congratulations on your new appointment at Goodwill.
Thank you.
But you're not a new person because you've done all this great community service work in the past. Around here, people know you from helping Big Brothers Big Sisters really do great things. You're helping United Way do great things. Why did you want to, after all that great stuff you've been doing for the community, why join Goodwill? Why were you excited about that?
I was really super excited to have the opportunity to join Goodwill because graduating from Wake Forest University with an education degree, being in a community that values the culture of education has been important to me. I've been heavily involved in education opportunities, serving now on a committee with Smart Start around early childhood education. So this is just the other side of it.
Right.
Goodwill does, there's the cradle to career.
Absolutely.
Goodwill's on the career side, and having adult education and having adults like us who value education and realize that investing and creating lifelong learners is how our community is going to grow. It's how we're going to stay stable, and Goodwill plays an important part in that. So I'm super excited about
Absolutely. Galen, just remind us of the overall mission real quickly of what you're trying to do at Goodwill.
At Goodwill Industries, what we do is create opportunities for people in the community to connect with employment positions. There are job skills training opportunities, and we're the connection for businesses and employees to learn who is in the workforce.
Who's in the workforce? Who's available to come to work?
Who's available to fill those positions.
And here I am as a senior citizen, and you're not cutting people like me out of it because I might be trying to get back into the workforce, or maybe I got laid off, and I don't have computer skills, or I don't have. Tell me a little bit about who you can help, who you serve with workforce development, and what kind of things do you offer?
We can serve anyone, Jim. Someone who's never worked a day in their life to that seasoned professional. We provide people with career exploration, career coaching, actually job skills training, employment placement opportunities. We can help them also with a connection to other community resources. Anyone that comes to our door, we feel we have something.
And I know the employers really feel good about the folks that they're getting from you and getting that training and help. Now, what about, Galen, what about the training center? Didn't you send me an email one day saying that you've expanded something over there? What is that about?
Oh, yes. In July 2018, we actually expanded our services. We became the direct service provider for the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. And actually, that is state and federal funding to assist people with training, with job placement, more connection with employers. We were doing this already for our youth program. Now we're doing it with all adults, adult dislocated workers. We also, for Sife Center, has expanded, become an NC Works Career Center. And what that means is we are partnering with the Division of Workforce Solutions, who are the people to assist with unemployment insurance and services. Now we're a one-stop operation. And so just about anything that anyone in the community wants.
But now if I come in to get help or learn some things or get some skills, do I pay a fee for that? Or?
Oh no, all our services are free. Anyone that can come and say, I don't know what to do, I need some assistance, you come to us. We do have a few contracts, but everything is pretty much free.
I just think
to
what
the
you're doing
community.
is great, and the services are free for a reason. They don't just appear free, and that's what I want Pam to wrap up with, because tell us why it's so important for people to think, yeah, I'll go down and I'll take some clothing or household items and maybe I'll donate them this week, maybe I won't. Why is that important to the whole scheme of things?
Donations from the community when it comes to goods, anything in your house, including the clothing that a lot of people think about with Goodwill and what you shop at Goodwill stores for, but anything within your house pretty much we will take and put back to use. So we thrive off that, we grow off it, we fund our programs, we have free opportunities for the public because people in the community wrap their arms around Goodwill, donate those goods to our stores, because when they donate, other people shop, and then we train people and put them to work.
Use the money for work. You can't get any better than that. Up on the screen, I want to remind people of the website and Goodwill, nwnc.org. Please check that out and all the great things. Ladies, I'm so proud of you, and welcome back, and don't stay away for another 15 years.
Do my best.
All right. We'll be right back after this. Back now on Triad Today in our new year, and we have a very special guest from Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. He's been with us before, but the first time for this year, and we see him right now. Dr. William Satterwhite. Bill is Chief Health and Wellness Officer of Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you. My pleasure.
What is this thing that you and Justin emailed me about? It's called WellQ, W-E-L-L, and then a big Q, WellQ. What is that, and where's it located?
Yeah, I've been dying to tell you about it. So it's down in Innovation Quarter, kind of right near the crossroads by Bailey Park.
Right.
in the building there, and it is actually a totally new way to think about healthcare. It is a membership-based model, cash only, no insurance accepted, no government insurance accepted, $299 a year, and here's this suite of services that you actually get.
Wait a minute. Let me see if I understand this now. We didn't rehearse any of this. I want to learn about this. I go sign up for this thing called WellQ.
Right.
And for $299 a year, I mean, what do I get? What do I get to do? I mean,
Yeah, you get a lot of stuff. So you get a free physical exam, you get screening labs, you get a health risk assessment, you get unlimited free sick visits, unlimited free chronic medication visits if you have any kind of ongoing health problem. All that's done in a context that is very intentionally not time pressured at all. So most people on their first visit spend 1 to 2 hours there with either PA or doctor, right? Which is very unusual, right?
1 to 2 hours,
Yeah.
where normally you're lucky if you get 10 minutes.
Right, exactly. Because part of the goal is to say, how can we step off the volume treadmill, which is how doctors get paid, and how can we think more deeply about things that people have going on, much more holistically, and try to avoid the easy remedy of saying there's a pill for every ill. So if you have high blood pressure, I can write you a prescription and that helps. So that there can be value in that. But at the same time, what if we said, what are the things in life for you that maybe we could work on and change? Could be diet, could be stress at work, whatever, that might be able to get you to a place of normal blood pressure without having to take any medicine. And people are very excited about that.
Now, you mentioned some of the things that you can avail yourself of, but does this mean you can get in? Because a lot of people say, well, I try to get in to see my doctor, but he or she can't see me for 2 months. Does any of this help with access?
Oh yeah, a ton. Because the clinic is only open to the members. So it's not open to the general public. You have to join, and we can control that gate, right? It is like a belonging to a restaurant or a club or something, where in essence the income stream is determined in advance. So we actually are intentionally a low volume kind of setup.
And there's a financial look. The thing
for
is,
real.
we want to keep healthy, and so it's important for the physical aspect. But you're looking after people's pocketbooks too.
Correct, which is a great point. I'm glad you brought us to, because we did this as a joint venture with the Legacy Federal Credit Union, because they have an understanding about caring for the well-being of all their members. And they know that how someone's pocketbook is doing depends on their health, and we know how somebody's health's doing depends on their pocketbook. So we said, can we create a whole new model that looks at physical health and wellness as well as financial health and wellness? And so that's what we've done.
Right.
So there are a suite of things that a Legacy offers only in that context.
This is like what, the weekend, if you're watching on Saturday or Sunday, January the 12th or 13th, or maybe we're repeating it later, but this is something that's already up and running, right?
Yeah, it began actually last February, so not quite a year ago.
Wow, and you're getting good feedback.
Good feedback, lots of individuals who signed up, and lots of companies who have actually signed up.
So this is good for businesses too.
Very good for businesses. We have some businesses that have bought memberships for their employees, like a lot in the restaurant industry that don't have any kind of offering.
Right.
We have others where they may have a high deductible plan, which means people aren't going to get care if the deductible is very high, and so they tuck this in right under that.
Yeah. Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to preach, and you can put the commentary thing up there, but there's a lot of rip-offs out there, and insurance companies, there's high premiums, and this is just, I've never heard of this before.
Yeah,
this is great.
It's a one of a kind.
All right, up on the screen, www.yourwellq.com. I'm going to it right now. www.yourwellq.com. You can also go to the general website, wakehealth.edu. This is fascinating. What a great way to start the new year.
Thanks. It's a good thing.
All right, thanks, Doc.
Thanks for letting me come.
All right, we'll be right back after this. Right now on Triad Today, and if we were going to have something about culture, I would call it Culture Corner. And if we were going to do that, I would have something cultural, and so let's do it. We have something about theater, and if you're going to do that, why not have Dave Briggs here? Because he is director of the High Point Theater, and thank you for being here in our Culture Corner.
Well, thank you. I'm feeling very cultured.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
are cultured. Before we get to talking about some of the performances you have coming up, I have two questions for you. The first one is, now I know that when you talk about a theater season, it crosses over calendars, but look back at the calendar year 2018. What kind of year was that for the theater?
We actually had a very strong year in 2018. I think that we look at the economy, and the economy is strong. Folks are buying and going out to see shows and so on. We actually set some records for our box office.
Wow.
In the second half of the year that I'm really, really pleased about, with not just our shows, but also some of the rental shows that were coming in. So we've got some promoters that are bringing some really great quality shows, and they're selling good numbers of tickets.
Talent shows and everything else. coming
Talent
up.
shows. We've got dance recitals, but you know, when you bring in shows that like the Whose Line Is It Anyway live, Tannehill Weavers did really well.
That's
for
great.
us.
So it was a good year.
Peter Noon did great.
From Herman's Hermits.
Herman's
All right,
Hermits, yeah.
What? How do you quickly though? How do you select these great performers? Because you always had such a good selection.
Well, thanks. One of the things that I do is I look at the community. We poll our community, the folks who are coming in and buying tickets on a regular basis, and then we also send out some surveys via Facebook and locally to try to find out what people want to see and what they'll pay to see. Because there are a number of free events in the area, and I can't beat free, but I do want to have shows that folks want to come and see.
Right.
Some of it is really mission driven. In other words, for instance, next week we've got the Koresh Dance Ensemble. That's mission driven because I really want folks to experience amazing modern dance.
Right.
We've got Yakov Smirnov coming in. You know, he's a great comedian. He's been in Branson forever. For most of us, remember him from the 1980s and 90s. But I want to have folks experience that.
Different cultures. Go
Different
back to the
cultures,
culture
different
thing. Yakov
backgrounds.
is a Russian American.
Exactly.
All right, let's go and talk about several of these events specifically. You mentioned Koresh. Let's start with them. Koresh Dance Ensemble, January 19th. What are they?
They're a remarkable dance company, and it is modern dance. And the program is called Inner Sun and Other Stories. And so they will take basically a theme and develop the dance around the theme. And you know, folks love athletes. You know, we're an athletic-driven culture.
Right.
When you watch these folks, if you are not getting into the story, think about how athletic their performance is. Because I think that's as
Absolutely.
stunning to me as the actual
They
creating
are.
of the
They're
art.
great
Yeah.
athletes. Now, Christian Howes on January 27th.
Christian is this remarkable classical violinist who's turned to electric jazz violin. So I sort of compare him to a Jean-Luc Ponty for those folks who might be familiar with him. He's not Jean-Luc, but his work is remarkable. He's got a trio behind him. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's a community concert event as well.
And Branford Marcellus, February 14th.
Oh gosh, when you talk about the jazz family, the Marsalis family just comes
Winton
to the top.
yeah.
With Winton and Branford is a remarkable saxophone player. It's his quartet. I think that's Valentine's Day. So if you don't have plans yet for Valentine's,
Major
it's going to be
name in the
remarkable.
music
Yeah.
industry. And if we jump ahead to March 7th, I want to get another
Yes.
plug in for Love Letters with Hal Linden and Barbara Eden.
So excited about that. Of course, Barbara Eden from I Dream of Jeannie and Hal Linden was on Barney Miller. And he's also won Tony Awards. I don't think folks know that he's a song and dance man as
He
well.
really is. Good voice.
In fact, he won a Tony, I think it was for the 5th of July, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But
he's done everything on Broadway.
He has, and in the movies and TV, I'd listen to that man read the phone book. I really would.
And Barbara Eden's a good singer too.
She's got a great
And this is a
voice.
romantic comedy type
It
thing.
is. It's a romantic comedy, and there's a little bit of interaction between the two, but they're reading love letters, and
Yeah.
it's
I've always wanted to interact with Barbara Eden. but anyway,
yeah, me too.
That's a whole other topic we're not going to get into. and before, how much time do we have, Brian? I just wanted, okay, we just have a little bit of time left. Let me go back and ask something I've asked before. For some of these types of performances, do they sometimes sell their CDs or videos or
Yeah,
whatever?
for most of our artists will bring in merchandise that we sell out in the lobby before the show, at intermission, and afterwards. And most of our artists, one of the neat things about having a small venue like the High Point Theater, and it's 930 seats, so
Right,
it's not
right.
tiny.
It's pretty big, but
But most of our artists will come out after the show for the meet and greet.
meet people.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, up on the screen. HighPointTheater.com. The box office number's up there, 887-3001. Please check that out, and please get your season tickets if you haven't already done so. Dave Briggs, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, Mr. Culture.
You got it.
We'll be right back after this. On Triad Today, just about time for the roundtable. In fact, let's go ahead and introduce our guys here. And here as we enter 2019, hope everybody's having a happy new year. On my right, but always the political left, Ogie Overman, the great award-winning broadcaster journalist. Next to him, former sheriff of Guilford County, B.J. Barnes, is here holding up in the center position. And on the outside is a man who's under the weather today. We appreciate him making the effort to get in here. Keith Granberry is founder of Helping Hands Consultants. Guys, the audience can see we have cookies in front of us. They're Girl Scout cookies. And I want to thank Girl Scouts Carolina's Peaks to Piedmont, Lane Cook, and all the good folks. They're going to be on the show in a couple of weeks, but they wanted the round table to have some of their cookies. We want everybody to buy Girl Scout cookies, support Girl Scouts. They do a great job. All right, now we start out with a serious topic, guys. Recently, a woman working at an animal preserve in Caswell County was attacked and killed by a lion in her care. Guys, should the state legislature outlaw private ownership of exotic animals? What do you think, Ogie?
My understanding is that there's very strict state regulation. North Carolina is one of the states that does regulate these farms. I think it was such a fluky thing that we're probably not. We don't need to go.
You don't need any more laws,
I don't
BJ.
think so.
No, I agree. We don't need any more laws. We have the laws out there, and this was just, as Ogie says, a fluke. It probably won't happen again. Hopefully not.
Keith, we need more laws?
I think you need more laws. I didn't even know that they had anything like this existing until I saw that. Who would have known that they had lions out there? It wasn't a zoo.
This was an experienced trainer, so
Yeah,
it's a
I
very
think they
unfortunate thing.
need more.
All right, let's get into some more controversy here. Winston-Salem's mayor says he'll sue the Daughters of the Confederacy if they don't agree to relocate their statue from 4th Street. It's in front of the old courthouse, which is now a privately owned apartment complex. He says the statue is a public nuisance because of vandalism and suggests moving it to Salem Cemetery where there's some Confederate dead buried. Guys, is a lawsuit the best solution? And could the mayor's threat lead to more vandalism, maybe even violence? Ogie.
I think the property owner requested it and went to Mayor Joines to ask him if he would intervene.
Eventually, yeah, but not at first. The property owner held off and was going to stay out of it. Then he got into it yesterday. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but I
He
don't.
wants it gone.
Yeah, I think it should be moved to the cemetery. I think that's a
BJ.
great
No,
solution.
this is just more a hug a thug mentality. You're rewarding bad, bad actions by people, and there's no sense in that. There's no need for it.
Well, I spoke with Larry Womble. I spoke with Police Chief Christina Thompson, and interesting take they have on that. I hope we can get them on the show and talk about it. But I mean, something's got to be done. Keith, what's your take on it?
It needs to be moved. I mean, I keep going back and forth. Where are the African Americans who were part of the movement back in civil rights? Where are they statues at?
There's none around
There's
here.
none.
Well,
so why
except
do
for
we?
Dr. Simon Atkins on the Winston-Salem State campus. That's it.
That's it. So why would we continue to put something that's going to bring this about? Put it in the cemetery. If the owner doesn't want it, why is it still there?
All right, former
But
Governor
why
Pat.
move it?
Why move it?
Why move it?
Why you just
Well,
moving it from one place to
okay.
another? The same type thing.
It's
will
in
be
a
added.
cemetery. Number one, the statue. It brings about a lot of things that people don't want to have happen. Slavery. That's one reason why I'm moving.
Oh, I agree.
Well, it could also
So-
be vandalized in the cemetery,
That's,
right?
that's my point. It's going to be
we
vandalized
don't
wherever
know.
you put it.
I would rather be in the
Stop the lawbreaker.
People aren't going to go mostly to a cemetery, but they will go from another place. This thing needs to be moved.
Yeah.
It does not need to be there, and it's a mark on slavery. It needs to be gone.
It is, and I hope I'm years away from living in a cemetery. I just want to mention that. Now, former Governor Pat McCrory says he might run against Roy Cooper again in 2020, or he might run for Senate when Richard Burr steps down in 2021. With Lieutenant Governor Dan Forrest in the race for governor, can McCrory even get the GOP nomination quickly, Ogie?
Well, BJ doesn't have the insider info on that. I personally don't think he should run. I think he should just live a nice private life and be happy.
BJ.
I hope he runs for Senate. I think that it would be a disservice to Dan Forrest, who is already working for running for governor.
Keith.
I think with the wave that's going on now, he would lose in both places.
Either
Either
race.
way, he's going to lose.
Either race.
Yeah.
Speaking of running for office, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren says she'll probably run for president next year. Can she even get the Democratic nomination? And if she does, can she beat Trump? Mr. Overman.
She's definitely running. That's got to be a crowded field. It's just really too early to tell, Jim. I just like them all. I like every single Democrat. I wish they could all win.
Cory Booker, Kamala Harris. All right, BJ.
No, she's not going to end up running, and she will not get their endorsement because Joe Biden's out there. You've got others out there that are far more qualified.
Keith.
She is going to run, but it's something that increases her visibility and profile. But she may be positioning herself to be a vice president for someone, but she cannot win.
Could be it. The state of Utah has just lowered the blood alcohol limit to 0.05 for determining a DWI. Guys, it's the lowest limit in the country. Should North Carolina follow Utah's lead? Oh,
No. They ought to bring it back to 0.1.
0.1.
They're killing the bar and the club business. You know,
But you don't want people driving
you
drunk
can't.
either.
You can. That's 2 beers, Jim. You can't drink 2 beers at
0.05 is 2
05.
beers.
Good Lord.
Sheriff,
You ought to have a designated driver if you're drinking anyway.
any beers?
Anything.
Keith,
I think the limit, it should not go down lower. North Carolina should stay right
keep it
where
the way
it's
it
at.
is. And finally,
Absolutely.
guys, a New York City man was getting off a subway train when he found a bag containing $10,000 in cash. The man made national news because he took the bag to police. Guys, if you found $10,000 in cash, what would you do with it, Ogie?
There's a movie about that.
I know.
I saw that movie and I'm thinking that's mob money. I'm turning it in. I don't want. That's mob
You're
money.
not
I don't.
gonna-
I want nothing
you're
to do
gonna take
with
it home.
No,
Be
I'm
I'd be
taking it to the-
suspicious if it was real or not. And then you take it to the police, they can verify it is, and then if nobody claims it, and how they're going to identify it.
But you were in law
Yeah, they-
enforcement. See, I'm with Ogie. Keith, would you take it back or to the police or?
He'd keep it.
I would give it to the police, and then I would ask them to take the money and pay the person to move that statue out, BJ.
Well, all right.
10,000 more
That's
coming.
right, $10,000.
I would
That's
use some
right.
of that money to buy
That's it.
Girl Scout cookies. So anyway, all right. Well, that's all the time we have, except for this. 2 nuns have recently been arrested for stealing $500,000 from the California school where they taught. The nuns used the money to take trips to casinos. Asked why they gambled away all that money. One nun said, "What can I say? We have a bad habit." You knew that was coming, didn't you? Saw it, smelled that one coming. For all of us here on Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.